Mel Schilling, the heart and soul behind Married at First Sight, passed away in London surrounded by the people who mattered most to her. In her final week, she spent precious hours with close friends, saying her goodbyes in quiet, intimate visits. There was a deep sense of gratitude in those moments, both from Mel and the people lucky enough to know her. It's hard to sum up Mel's impact. She started her life in Australia, built a successful career as a psychologist, and somehow became a reality TV icon in her 40s, guiding strangers through the wild ride of on-screen romance. After stepping into the UK spotlight in 2001 to join the British MAFS spin-off, she split her time between London and her Australian home. But last year, Mel decided to leave the original Australian series behind after a remarkable 12-season run. In her final months, she chose to stay in London, making a home with her husband Gareth and their 10-year-old daughter, Maddie, a family bound by a fierce, simple love. Mel didn't keep her health struggles a secret. In 2023, she was diagnosed with colon cancer, and she never shied away from the fight. She underwent chemotherapy in the UK while filming MAFS UK, all the while sharing updates with honesty and plenty of humor. When doctors removed a tumor the size of a lemon, she celebrated the victory with her trademark optimism, telling everyone she'd finally been given the all-clear. But life, as Mel's own story reminds us, isn't always fair. In a deeply personal Instagram post last week, Mel shared that her cancer had returned. It had spread to her lungs by early 2024 and, heartbreakingly, reached her brain during Christmas. She faced it all with the same bravery and grace that made her famous. Her husband Gareth broke the news of her passing with incredible candor and tenderness. He remembered Mel's last words to their daughter, spoken when cancer had almost taken her voice. She whispered a message for Maddie and me that will sustain me for the rest of my life. Even facing the end, Mel put her family first. Friends and colleagues flooded social media with memories. Elizabeth Day, Mel's podcast partner and confidant, wrote about their final visit. Hand in hand, Mel called her my girl. And Elizabeth wrote, "I'm so blessed that I got to see her the week before she died." Charlene Douglas, Mel's fellow expert on MAFS UK, also visited her in those last days, finding comfort and laughter together one last time. Gareth's tribute didn't hold back. He called Mel a woman who reinvented herself after 40, who became both a new mother and a TV star, and nailed both. Through nearly 2 years of brutal chemo, Mel never let go of her courage or sense of humor. She never once complained or missed a moment on set, even when she could barely move. The global MAFS community mourned along with her family. Gareth took time to thank everyone, co-stars, producers, and her friends at Channel 4, people who went above and beyond to support Mel and her loved ones. He thanked Elizabeth Day not just for professional partnership, but for real friendship and empathy. It's impossible to ignore the raw truth in Gareth's reflection. Life can be beautiful, and it can be cruel. Mostly, though, it's fleeting. If there's something we can take from Mel's story, it's to live fully, focus on what really matters, and let the small worries slide. He wrote, "I had 15 wonderful years with my soulmate. It was the privilege of my life to be by her side. Goodbye, my love, my one, until we meet again." Those words read like a promise, and for those left behind, they carry the weight of both love and loss. Mel's journey as an expert panelist on Married at First Sight Australia spanned 12 seasons, then 5 more years of bringing her wisdom and warmth to UK screens on Channel 4. Not long ago, she announced she'd be stepping back from filming to focus on her family and her fight with illness. Her longtime colleague John Aiken stepped in to carry on her work, but Mel's presence lingered in every episode. Beyond TV, Mel's credentials were impressive. She earned both a bachelor's and a graduate diploma in psychology and started working as a psychologist back in 1998. She helped people grow and change, whether through private practice, consulting, or her unexpected but memorable turn as an actress. Earning a neighbor's credit, popping up on Blue Heelers, quietly diversifying a career already bursting with achievements. Friends, colleagues, and fans have lost a woman who didn't just appear on TV, but brought honesty and humanity to a show about love. John Aiken, her MAF's co-star for over a decade, led tributes to his partner in crime, That's who Mel was to those who worked with her, a teammate, a role model, a bright spark in every room. Mel Schilling leaves behind an incredible legacy, a family who adored her, friends who cherished her, and a world of fans inspired by her courage and compassion. She taught people to love a little harder and to face every challenge with a bit of bravery, always with a generous heart. In the end, that's what really matters. Along with photos showing one of their very first TV appearances together and one of their last, John shared his feelings openly, where it began and where it ended. Today, my heart is heavy with sadness because I've lost my dear friend and fellow maths expert Mel Schilling. My chest feels tight and, honestly, I'm gutted. She came into my world a decade ago, and ever since we've been partners, riding this wild maths wave side by side, holding each other up through everything. We had no idea what was coming back then, but through all the twists and turns, Mel was always right there in the trenches with me. It was such an honor to be by her side on the maths couch, watching her do what she did best. Mel was warm, supportive, and always honest, even when honesty was hard. She really cared about the people in our experiment, never treating anyone like TV fodder, and I got a front row seat to watch her incredible skills in action. She believed in what we were doing. At her core, she was someone who truly loved love. Behind the scenes, we just had a blast. Before filming, we'd mess around, singing, dancing, FaceTiming her daughter, and devouring lollies. Every time I walked onto set, she'd squeal, jump up, and run to give me the biggest hug, holding on tight as if she could never let go. Mel balanced it all, an amazing mother, a loving wife, loyal and so much fun to be around. Her family drove everything she did. Honestly, she set an example for the rest of us, showing what it looked like to truly care and give. When she got sick, Mel never complained. She didn't burden anyone with what she was going through. She just kept showing up, giving her all. She was a fighter, a leader, and she inspired everyone around her. It just doesn't seem fair that she's gone. I feel lost even trying to wrap my head around any of this. I thought we'd be sitting on that couch together forever. We had this rhythm. She got me, and I got her. But now, that's simply gone. Mel, I can't thank you enough for everything you've given me over these past 10 years. My heart is broken, and I have to accept that you're not here anymore. The whole Maths family is grieving, along with all your loved ones. My prayers are especially with Gareth and Maddie. We were so lucky to know you. I love you, and I miss you more than words can say. Channel 4 also expressed their sadness, saying, "Everyone at Channel 4 is deeply saddened to hear about Mel's death. Our thoughts are with her family and loved ones first and foremost. We're proud to have been the channel that showcased Mel's work. Her energy was a huge part of why Married at First Sight became such a phenomenon in both the UK and Australia. Mel was driven by her passion for healthy relationships, her fierce support for women, and her commitment to bringing people together through love. And honestly, Mel wasn't just a colleague. She was a friend to so many of us. The joy and energy she brought into every room was infectious. We'll all miss her warmth and humor. We share this grief with so many viewers who will feel her loss." CPL, the company behind Married at First Sight UK, shared their heartbreak too. "Everyone at CPL is deeply saddened by the loss of our beloved friend and colleague, Mel Schilling. Many of us had the joy of working with Mel over the years, and today is a day of immense sadness. Mel was so much more than a great presenter. She was a friend and a guiding light for many of us. Our love goes out to Mel's family, friends, and everyone close to her. She touched countless lives, and we'll miss her dearly." Her Maths UK co-expert Charlene Douglas simply said she was devastated and offered support to Mel's family. "Gareth, know that Mel loved you and Maddie with all her heart. If you need anything, I'm always here. Darling Mel, rest in eternal peace. I love you." Maths UK star Laura Vaughan called Mel an inspiration. "To call you an inspiration doesn't even come close. You were a beacon of light for everyone who knew you, loved you, and watched you from around the world. Backstage one day, after you told me about your cancer, you took my hand, gave me a wink, and said, 'I'm a fighter, don't you worry.' And you absolutely were. I feel so lucky to have met and worked with you. The world feels lonelier now." My thoughts are with your family and everyone close to you. Rest easy. Davide Annika simply said, "Rest in peace, Angel. You will be missed. My thoughts and prayers are with your family." Even singer Sophie Ellis-Bextor, who never met Mel, said, "She always came across so well and made so much sense. Sending love to everyone who knew her. I'll try my best to appreciate every day and honor her memory." Anna Williamson, coach from Celebs Go Dating and longtime friend, shared, "What a woman. She fought all the way, right to the end, which came far too soon. Our Channel 4 family is grieving Mel. She touched so many people, both on and off camera. As fellow TV mums and coaches, we naturally became friends, gravitating towards each other, sharing a deep respect. Even as she fought her cancer, she never complained, always fighting for Gareth and Maddie. Mel left her mark. Her fearless approach to life, work, and family is her legacy, and that lives on. My heart especially goes out to her beautiful family. The love and pride she had for Gareth and Maddie was off the charts. Rest now, my friend, and thank you for all your cheerful voice notes, just because. Together, all these tributes make it clear. Mel Schilling wasn't just a TV personality. She was a selfless, caring force of nature. Someone who made a real impact everywhere she went. She leaves a hole in her friends' and loved ones' hearts that words can hardly describe. When news of Mel's passing broke, people close to her and those who simply admired her reached out in droves, putting into words just how much she meant to them. Fern Cotton simply left a string of red heart emojis, the kind of quiet gesture that says more than paragraphs ever could. Bryony Gordon, a longtime friend, wrote, "I'm so sorry to hear this. Sending much love to you all," adding a row of kisses, like she really meant it. Matt Pillmore, who fans know from Married at First Sight, didn't hide his heartbreak. "Such an incredible lady," he wrote. "Thoughts to all her family and friends." You could almost feel the sadness behind those words. Vicky Pattison shared her own loss. "Absolutely heartbreaking. A beautiful woman inside and out. My thoughts are with your family and friends." These weren't empty tributes. Everyone seemed to be reaching out with a genuine piece of themselves. And then there was Elizabeth Day. She didn't hold back. As Mel's friend and How to Date podcast co-host, Elizabeth poured her heart out in a long Instagram post, pairing her words with photo after photo from their years of laughter, work, and late-night confessions. "I never understood the truth of the phrase, 'she lights up a room,' until I met Mel," Elizabeth wrote. She described Mel's energy, not just the sparkle in her eyes or the shimmer of sequins she loved to wear, but something deeper, her generosity, her genuine kindness, the way she was simply present in people's lives. Even when Mel got the devastating news that her cancer had returned, she still showed up at the launch party, dressed head to toe in gold, smiling bravely, dancing with her friends, refusing to shrink into the shadows. Elizabeth remembered them laughing, dancing, and eating cake together that night, never imagining how little time was left. She said she felt lucky to have seen Mel one last time, just a week before she died, and held on to the love, the warmth, and all the little digital traces of their friendship, the photos, the voice notes, all the moments that made up a life. "My girl, travel safe. Love you," she signed off. Mel herself had shared her gratitude, especially for the NHS staff who cared for her through the worst days. She posted about them last year, asking people to be proud of the people behind the institution, the doctors, the nurses, all of them working long hours but still finding the energy to show compassion and smile. "It's not just their professionalism, but their genuine concern and sunny disposition," she wrote, reminding everyone that sometimes it's the people on the ground who make the real difference, not the systems or the funding. Just last week, Mel let her followers into her reality. She revealed the cancer had metastasized, first to her lungs, then, heartbreakingly, to her brain. She didn't sugarcoat her situation. "I honestly don't know how long I have left, but I do know I will fight to my last breath and will be surrounded by the love and support of my people." Even as her world grew smaller and her body weaker after 16 rounds of chemotherapy, Mel still tried to leave hope behind, urging people to trust their instincts to get checked when something feels wrong, because it could save them. She shared her gratitude for the outpouring of support, saying it kept her going on the roughest days. Her statement was brave, honest, and bittersweet, She described herself as still fighting and surrounded by the most incredible love. But she also admitted the reality: every day was getting harder and she depended more and more on her family. "These two beside me are my everything," she wrote, posting a photo of herself with her husband Gareth and their daughter Madison. She never let her story end without hope or gratitude. Mel announced just last month that she was stepping away from Married at First Sight Australia, a role she'd held since season 2. "It wasn't an easy call," she said, "but years of commuting between the UK and Australia, combined with her health battles, made it unavoidable." She wanted to put her family and well-being at the heart of her life, something she often preached, now finally practicing for herself. Her love for Gareth and Maddie shone in every interview. She talked openly about their wedding, tearing up as she spoke about finally getting to say, "I do," after being a self-described late bloomer, meeting her husband at nearly 40, having their daughter at 42. Maddie's birth felt like a miracle, especially after Mel's earlier miscarriage. She was candid about undergoing IVF and the challenges, telling OK magazine how much that loss made her realize she truly wanted a child. The tributes didn't end with friends. Genevieve Edwards, the head of Bowel Cancer UK, highlighted how Mel's openness about her illness had already saved lives. "By sharing her story, she has helped raise vital awareness," Genevieve said, urging people to listen to their bodies and not ignore warning signs. That message has the power to save lives. With bowel cancer now the UK's 4th most common cancer, her legacy is more than just on TV screens. It's in every person who trusts themselves enough to get checked and finds help in time. Mel Schilling's story is painfully sad, but it's packed with courage, honesty, and a deep love for the people around her. She didn't just light up a room, she left behind a glow that pushes others forward, even after she's gone.